What's going on, everybody? Super Saiyan Polar back at it again with another Dragon Ball Super video. There are going to be spoilers in this video, so make sure you guys click off of the video right now if you want to be spoiled with anything regarding Dragon Ball Super Movie Broly, as well as what's going to be following afterwards. Some of it is speculation, but it's built upon what's going to be seen at the very end of the movie, so that's your spoiler alert warning. Make sure you guys, if you guys are going to stick around, support the channel, like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with anyone that you think is a Dragon Ball fan that might be interested. Anyway, thank you guys so much for the support. What we're going to be talking about here today is that Broly will eventually team up with Goku. Now, what we know from the most recent news is that Dragon Ball may not return in an anime. Dragon Ball Super may return in a completely different way than we actually know. What we've been told and what's been indicated is that Akira Toriyama actually hinted at there being another movie in the works. Rather than them make a series, right now, up in speculation, based on what he commented, saying that I'm ready to work on another one. He didn't specify whether that's a series or a movie, and the movie was the most recent thing, thus leading us to believe that the next part of Dragon Ball content in the Super continuity is either the manga, the series itself, the anime series, or the movie. And a lot of speculation even said that it may just be another movie. We're not sure yet, but what we do know is that at the very end of Dragon Ball Super Movie Broly, Broly and Goku are actually on very, very good terms. They kept Broly alive, and that's something that I actually wanted to see so freaking badly, because Broly, if they had killed him, they actually corrected what was wrong with him to most of the general fans in the old previous movies. Akira Toriyama took him and made him his own, and changed up his character design, his backstory, and took some of the best elements of it and took out some of the worst elements of it. And it's really cool to see that how it's very similar, but they lean towards the bigger flaws in the character that makes sense. So let's say, spoiler alert, in the old movie back in the day, Broly was just mad, and a lot of people hated him for this, at the fact that Kakarot was crying inside of the cell and that he wouldn't shut up. Now, with the new Broly, this guy is actually being manipulated by his father, and they realize this later on in the movie, even more so than he was in the other movie. In the other movie, I mean, he was being manipulated, but it wasn't the main source of where the evil was coming from. It was from what they pointed at was Goku because of the crying. But here, it's just straight and simple. He's being brainwashed by Paragus. So, with that being said, at the very end, the brainwashing is essentially broken, and Broly actually shows that he has a love interest and he has friends and stuff like that in the movie. So, with that being said, it's a very different but similar Broly, more perfected in my opinion, and the fact that Goku becomes friends with him leads me to believe there is going to be a time where Goku and Broly are going to fight side by side. Mark it down, I've said it now. Broly and Goku will tag team and fight if the series does continue. Now, whether it be in a movie form or even the anime returning, that's up for anybody to speculate. But from the manga's point of view, what we know is that the prisoner in the new arc is Moro, or Moro, however you want to pronounce it. This guy is a power eater. He's been around for millions of years, and this guy is about to be the strongest foe they fought yet. I don't think that they're going to have him compared to the likes of Jiren and Broly in the same exact way, because this guy is a very, very different type of fighter. And if you guys have read the manga panel, I've actually made a video on this. Moro, or Moro, however you guys want to pronounce it, he fought the Kai that Majin Buu absorbed. This guy was so strong back in the day that he was actually able to seal him away. So, because of that fight, he weakened this particular Kai to the point where Majin Buu could absorb him. So just imagine that this guy was just so much more powerful than he actually was. That's why he was revered as one of the greatest. And then because of this fight, he was so injured that it weakened him down to that level. Now, with this being said, how strong is a power eater, and how is this going to affect the Z Warriors? How does his abilities work? Is it going to take... I mean, if it took this much power to defeat him before, he might come back stronger. Especially now that there's so many strong fighters in the world. I would say maybe even if there's not one particular warrior that's as strong as he was back then, in terms of the general population, imagine how many fighters have come up, and now there's just looking at the tournament power, there's just so many fighters in this huge top tier of gods. There's unofficial gods. Look at Toppo, look at Jiren, look at Goku. They're above God of Destruction now. And if you don't believe that, Ultra Instinct kind of proved that. And if you don't believe that, Gogeta is basically stronger than Beerus. Because of what happened in the Broly movie, they even specified a line specifically to say that. And they had Broly attack Whis just to show you where the gap in power was. Broly is essentially on the same level or even stronger than Beerus. Gogeta wiped the floor with him. So with that being said, Gogeta and Broly are still probably the two top fighters that they have, if you want to count Goku and Vegeta like that. Otherwise, they could still fight separately. You never know what the threat may have there, but I am saying that Broly will team up with Goku. I'm not saying directly in the next arc, but what we've seen is that because of the Tournament of Power, we've seen almost every single person that Goku has managed to change their heart, especially with even Frieza to some extent. I mean, he didn't really change his heart. We saw a different side of Frieza, but he was able to get him to come to his side, and they fought side by side in the very end in one of the most iconic moments of Dragon Ball history, with the two of them taking Jiren out of the stage. I have a feeling with Broly having that much of a backstory, being that popular that he canonized himself alongside Gogeta, but Broly having him stay alive, they're going to have to utilize him for the future because they didn't kill him, and for them to make him a friend, I think Broly's going to show up in probably one of the most badass ways. He's one of the few Saiyans that are left, and he's the legendary one. So he's going to show up, he's going to team up with Goku, and whoever this fighter is, they're going to be revered as beyond God. But with that much power being thrown about here, that's where the tier of fighters are. It's above God of Destruction, below where Whis is, and they may be creeping up on where Whis is very soon. Depending on the pacing of the buffs, something that they admittedly said over and over and over again is that Ultra Instinct was a mistake. It buffed the power way too quickly, and I think it was a necessary evil. It hyped up the series so much for the end of that Tournament of Power, but it technically gave him like two different looks, because then you added the white hair on top of the transformations that were already in the tournament, and then there was the Omen form as well. So I mean, they could have just left it at that, but no, when they went to Mastered Ultra Instinct, they took everything to a whole new level, and that level can be obtained by other fighters. We're not sure who those might be, and that might be what the foe might have that they might actually need to tag team on, but I digress. With Ultra Instinct being like the most recent power buff, they may just dial it back a bit, so this way they don't repeat the same exact mistake. That's why I think they resorted to Fusion, because Fusion, it's still Super Saiyan Blue, and they've been sticking with that for over maybe 3+ years, and I think we're moving on to the 4th year of that. They may have to create a transformation, but it might be a step down from Ultra Instinct. If not, because Ultra Instinct is the end-all be-all apparently, they're going to have to retcon it and nerf it a bit before anything happens. But if they do that, that ruins the chance of an Ultra Instinct versus Ultra Instinct fight, which I have a feeling, if it's not Moro, then someone's going to come along after him and have this ability, and this is where the things are going to take a turn for the worse for the Z Fighters, because they're not going to really be able to take on someone at Ultra Instinct if they can't tap into it in themselves by will, because Goku said he can't do it right now, and we may see glimpses of it in the future, but for now I don't see them actually going forward with that. So the next fighter that Broly and Goku may tag team against is either Moro, or it's going to be the arc after, maybe Ultra Instinct user or a rematch of some sort of the Tournament of Power. But that's my prediction. I believe 100% that Broly, if this series does continue and they just don't leave him in the dust there, I'm pretty sure he's going to team up with Goku alongside him on the battlefield. And the good thing about Broly is, 1, he's a fresh character. 2, he's canonized now, so they can no longer hold that against him. 3, they fixed the story with him, so they can't hold that against him either. That's why this new movie is being revered as one of the greatest Dragon Ball Z movies of all time, if not the greatest Dragon Ball movie of all time. And not only that, if he teams up with Goku, that's going to be something brand new, something you never heard before, something fresh. And then even further than that, Broly still hasn't ascended past Super Saiyan. So, I mean, if you want to count legendary Super Saiyan in that form and stuff like that, he's never reached Super Saiyan Blue. He has a green tint. It switches up the aesthetic for what we see in Saiyans, because we're so used to seeing blue At least he changes up, and he's super strong, so he's still in that tier. Something that I think that they brought Ultra Instinct to the table for is because of the fatigue of Super Saiyan Blue. We've seen it in the video games, we've seen it in the movies for years now, even the anime, and it's been out there for a very long time, longer than most transformations, and they had to add variations, and I think that's why Ultra Instinct came into fruition so earlier than it was supposed to, which is why there's other fighters that have other forms that are just as strong, like Broly, but it changes up the eye fatigue, and I feel like they're going to have to find something to change it up, especially after the fact that we found out that Akira admittedly said Red looks stronger than Blue. Mind you, that comment came out before they made the Resurrection F arc, but that's his true statement. Super Saiyan Red is actually just more aggressive looking to me. Even the aura and everything, I actually like the transformation more than Super Saiyan Blue, even though it's not stronger, just the raw aesthetic of it and the backstory, especially seeing Vegeta in it. And that's why I feel like they buffed it in a way during the Tournament of Power, because of the fact that they know that Super Saiyan Blue is getting played out. That's why they brought it back in the Broly movie, because of the change of the look. It's stronger in terms of key consumption because of the fact that they needed to bring it back for something. And that's why I gotta say, when Broly returns, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So, Broly will return, and I'm calling it now. He will team up with Goku. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys got it this far, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. I appreciate you guys so much. Leave your comments down below. Share this video. I'll be seeing you guys next time, alright? Take care. Peace.